Now, I'm going to do something that may damage my sprouting reputation as an animation critic. I'm gonna stand up for Teletoon. Now, I'm no fanboy, but I'm not blind to the quality of their Canadian imported cartoons such as early Johnny Test and Total Drama Island. No one can take away the quality of the first season of Johnny Test. It wasn't as bad as people are saying. It actually had a little bit of a charm to it. Now, when you mention Johnny Test, you may be mentioning the laziest cartoon that was on Cartoon Network's lineup in the 2010s. But it didn't start that way. In fact, Total Drama didn't start that way either. The first season wasn't as bad and had really solid characters. I didn't really hate it, it's just that it wasn't something special. The problem that both of these series had, in my opinion, is that they spread themselves way too thin for quality. Today, however, I'll be talking about Almost Naked Animals, one of the lesser known imports from Teletoon's sister channel YTV. Almost because I don't really remember a remarkable time it was featured on the Cartoon Network lineup. I only remember watching it on Boomerang, and if that deal is like anything Nicktoons has, where the show goes directly to Nicktoons, or Disney with Disney XD, then I suppose the true animated gems of the franchise can be found here. The episode I will be reviewing is called Picture Day. I chose this episode because this series receives a lot of flack for being this very hyper and unfunny torture fest. I could be paraphrasing. But with Howie and the crew, I never sense any real hatred of each other. I mean, yes, there is stress at times, but that's what makes cartoons good. Imagine if every cartoon you see has absolutely no stress. It would be really boring. And there is stress in this episode, but here's an example of their better episodes, if you would like to call it that. This episode starts off with a joke in the style of the show where it does involve pain, and this is where many of the torture arguments come in, especially with Octo.
This bomb butter goes wonderfully on toast.
This is Duck. He's kind of like Ed from Ed, Edd and Eddy, but not as subtly clever and not nearly as funny. But he isn't annoying and is kind of funny, just not as funny. Howie says that tomorrow is the staff's picture day and that causes the crew to run off into hiding except for Narwhal. So Howie confronts Octo first.
Why are you hiding under the covers?
There's something making me a little nervous about getting my picture taken tomorrow.
Don't worry, bud. You can tell me anything.
All right then, here goes. Not sure if you've noticed, but I've kind of let myself get a little pudgy around the tentacles.
Now there's a huge difference between this and, let's say, Squidward and SpongeBob, or Timmy Turner's Parents and Timmy Turner, or Teen Titans Go's Beast Boy and Raven. Here, there is no resistance. I mean, yes, it doesn't excuse him to do it, but you know he isn't out to hurt him. Octo never seems to hate Howie even after the fact, and I'm 99% sure it's because of that. Or maybe brain damage. So Octo and Howie go to the gym because Octo feels he's gained weight. Octo is very lazy and can't jump, so Howie leaves him there to make progress. Howie then goes over to Bunny. She says when the camera flashes to take a photo, her good smile turns into a very weird face.
Let me turn that frown upside down, or possibly inside out. Results may vary.
Now in this show, or this episode in particular, it is actually more jokes and stories. The story is actually very simple and it has a very bare bones-esque type of structure. So in that regard, Duck does play a very excellent comic relief. Howie then goes on to confront Piggy.
How does picture-making machine suck Piggy inside, then speak on paper? Real Piggy's still standing here. Where is this other paper Piggy come from, huh?
Yeah, he's a chef, and something tells me he hasn't gotten the memo on current technology. But of course, Howie, being the lovable idiot that he is, can't really explain it either. So Howie recommends Piggy to Narwhal.
And why me, pray tell? Let me guess. Because I love the camera, and the camera loves me.
I mean, he is the only questionable character, and this is where the episode gets kind of slow and drags on, but I want to take the chance to state a few things. Although this show isn't that bad, it isn't that good. Sometimes I can blatantly see the lack of effort they put into this show. Like, for example, they reuse photos on the board where Narwhal and Howie are talking.
I guess I could give Piggy a few pointers, as long as he does whatever I say, whenever I say it.
My point is that he's going out of his way to help everyone, sans Narwhal.
Now, if my calculations are correct, just a few seconds on the Howie sizer should be plenty. Until then, keep on feeling the burn!
Oh, I feel the burn, all right, and the sting, and the torment!
That means it's working.
Yeah, these moments do happen to Octo. I mean, his voice should have given it away. It's kind of like Melman's from Madagascar. He's just prone to violence and naturally vulnerable. The show alludes to Duck's booger book, which will come back at the end of the episode. Wash, rinse, repeat as Octo is taken out of the Howie sizer and he gets put into the sauna that is apparently running at maximum temperature. And of course, the wheelchair gets jammed into the doorknob so Octo can't get out. So everyone is getting together and no one's really getting help. It seems as though Howie isn't really helping anyone, although on the bright side, one of the best jokes in this episode is here, but I won't spoil it.
Okay, so I accidentally left you in the sauna, and the sauna kinda shrunk you just a little. But on the upside, you never looked so cute.
Cute? How can you say that? Well, yeah, I guess I am pretty cute.
Yes, Octo is a butt monkey in this episode, but the thing is, he never really seems hurt. Yes, he looks hurt, but he never seems hurt. I would go as far as to say that he actually is kind of like an actual cartoon, this invincible person. So when the photo is taken, it looks very bad. So how will they resolve it? Digital editing! Then the photo looks great. It's like Pet Sitter Pat, but done in a more respectable way. Everything gets worse and worse and worse, then everything is fine through no real effort on their part. It's just the plot needed to be solved, so it's solved. Now, I do say a lot of good things about this show and this episode, but it shows that you can get away with having these types of episodes if you just lighten the mood and show no real emotional consequences. Everyone's happy in the end, and in my opinion, like any other group project, stuff like this happens. So at the end of the day, it's not one of the greats, but don't knock it till you try it. Alright, so this was my 8th animation review, and I have been getting a lot better at this habit of producing a animation critiquing video per week. So if you like my content so far, please don't be afraid to subscribe. I'm not going anywhere, and I hope your time was well spent. And Alpha out.